Good morning. Today we will be reading Baba's versions spoken on 25th of March 1981. In this Murli, Baba speaks about, Baba is speaking to Madhuban Nivasis. And when we are listening to this Murli, in many other Murlis, Baba has mentioned that all of you are Madhuban Nivasis. So let's read this Murli, or let's listen to this Murli in the awareness that we are all Madhuban Nivasis. And when we are at our respective places, it's only to do seva. Otherwise, we are all Madhuban Nivasis, because once we are Baba's children, that's our main place. And then we go to our local places only to do service and then go back to Madhuban. And Baba also mentions that being Madhuban Nivasis, your state should be much stable and constant. And then Baba says, you have a double boundary being a Madhuban Nivasi. One boundary is the physical boundary of being in Madhuban. Madhuban has a boundary around it. So that's a physical boundary or a canopy of Baba's protection. And the second boundary is the boundary of Srimad. Because you would have seen it's very easy to follow the Srimad when you're in Madhuban, because of the atmosphere, because of the collective effort. So Baba says when you're in Madhuban, there's a double boundary of the physical boundary and the Srimad. So you all are fortunate souls, is what Baba mentions. And he also says that you're double fortunate. One, because you're Baba's children, and second, because you get to stay in Madhuban. So let's hear it from Baba directly. The title of the Murli is The Basis of Greatness is Checking Your Thoughts, Words and Deeds. Basis of greatness is checking your thoughts, words and deeds. Today, Bat Dada has come to meet all his companions of the land of divine activity, the land of divine action, the land of blessings, the land of the greatest pilgrimage place, and the land of the greatest sacrificial fire. So Baba has given 5 different adjectives to Madhuban today. The land of divine activity, because everything that happens in Madhuban is divine. It's alaukik. Then Baba says the land of divine action. So the difference between activity and action. Activity is what we do as a collective unit, and actions are our own actions. So land of divine activity, land of divine jobs, and land of divine actions. Then Baba says land of blessings. Yes, where every day we are able to do seva day in, day out and take blessings from the Father, the souls which come there, and also the Brahmin souls. So land of blessing, the land of greatest pilgrimage place, and the land of greatest sacrificial fire. Sacrificial fire is the yajna. Baba says you give yourself to me, and that is the greatest sacrificial fire of all 5,000 laws. So Baba says, to be a resident of Madhuban means to be a resident of a great and pure land. Since those who visit this land have great paths, imagine how great paths of those who live here must be. Even the Brahmins who visit Madhuban, we are the ones who go to Madhuban every day, every year. So ones who visit Madhuban also have great paths, Baba says, each and every Brahmin. And Baba says, imagine how great the paths of those who live here must be. The residence of great souls is also remembered as a great place. Since those who come here experience themselves to be fortunate and have many different inner experiences, imagine what the experience of those who live here would be. Hmm? Each and every one of us, when we go to Madhuban, we have special experiences with Baba. And there's a lot of support through the atmosphere that we get. It's very easy to do pursha or effort there. Baba says that when those who come here feel that push, that support in terms of effort, those who live here, what should their experience be? Baba says, souls who live with the ocean of knowledge would be so elevated. Do all of you residents of Madhuban experience yourself to be such elevated souls as this? Think about it. Actually, we are also Madhuban Nivasi. So when we are going about our day to day, do we have that feeling that we are elevated souls? We are special souls. Baba says, since this place is the top place, is your stage always the top stage? Sometimes I think Madhuban Nivasis are so lucky that they stay in a place where everybody, it's like a canopy. Everybody is Baba's child. There's only service and nothing else. The atmosphere is so supportive. You can make so much of effort. So Baba says, since this place is a top place, is your stage also always the top stage? So when you get opportunities, then the expectations of the teacher, of the father also increase. Yeah? Your stage doesn't come down, does it? Do you know how many types of gifts of a lift you Madhuban residents have? Have you ever counted them? Or do you have so many that you cannot count them? Everyone sings songs of praise of Madhuban. But do you residents of Madhuban sing this praise for yourself? Baba here is trying to check that when we go about our seva, our service in Madhuban, do we do it with an ordinary stage or do we do it with an elevated stage? All the time, constantly. Baba says, do you know how elevated people from far away consider you residents of Madhuban to be? And how they keep your elevated images in their hearts? Whenever we listen to feedback of souls who come back from Madhuban or go and meet Baba first time at Madhuban, the first thing that they experience when they go to Madhuban is the elevated stages and the love and the service at heart of all the Madhuban Nivasis. Many people come back and say, they're always doing service with a smile. So Baba says, they have that image about you. Have you created such an image of yourself in the living form? Just as you live on a physical mountain here, do you constantly stay on the mountain of such an elevated stage? And so Madhuban is situated on the top of a mountain. And do we also have a stage which is elevated as a mountain? Is your stage so elevated that no influence of the atmosphere of the old world can reach it? Baba's asking. And this question is to all of us. More actually for us than Madhvan Nivasis also, because the atmosphere of the old world is more around us when we are outside Madhvan. We are exposed to all kinds of negativities in the atmosphere, all kinds of thoughts floating around, all kinds of vibrations from people who are close to us and people who are not so close to us physically. Mm. So Baba is asking, is your stage so elevated that no influence of the atmosphere of the old world can reach it? So, every day during Amrit Vela, we create that canopy of protection around us, which helps us during the day to keep our stage elevated and not get influenced by company, by atmosphere. And that's why Baba keeps saying that Amrit Vela is very important because it gives us a canopy of protection on the day we don't do Amrit Vela. Actually, we are going about without the canopy of protection. So it's easier for Maya to attack and fluctuate us. And you'll experience that. But coming back to what Baba is saying, he's again asking, is your stage so elevated that no influence of the atmosphere of the old world can reach it? Do you remain in such a stage or do you come down? Is there a need to come down? Ask ourselves, we should check. Baba, there's no need, but still we do. Madhuban has a double boundary. One is that you Madhuban residents are within the boundary of Madhuban itself. And secondly, you are constantly within the boundary of Srimad. You would have observed it's very, very easy in Madhuban to follow Baba's Srimad, the daily routine that Baba has given, the Srimad that Baba gives for thoughts, actions, and words. It's much more easier than outside because of the support from the atmosphere. Baba says you have a double boundary when you're in Madhva. So you are within a double boundary. The stage of those who remain within the double boundary must be so elevated. Today, Bap Dada has come to meet those who live on his land. This is Baba's land. He created this land. It's his yagya. And when Madhuban Nivasis always have that feeling that whatever we are eating, whatever we are having, it's from the yagya, it's from Baba. So there's no attachment, or there should be no attachment to whatever they have. This is the land of the Father's divine activity. So there would be special love for those who live on his own land. Baba also showers special love to those who live on his land. Why? Because they left everything and went there only to do service. And that's a big sacrifice. Baba says, poor devotees of today yearn just to rub the mud of this place on their foreheads, whereas you all always live here. So you are so fortunate. Let's take 2 minutes to think. We are so very fortunate to be able to go stay in Madhuban, be with Baba. Whenever we need, we can connect with Baba. He showers his blessings on us. We have a right to claim all the inheritance. Yesterday also in the Murli Baba said, you claim the right to inheritance of all my powers because you are my children. Had we ever thought before coming into this knowledge that we will just get so lucky? Many times we forget about it. We need to keep reminding ourselves that we just got lucky and so very lucky. And this luck got installed in the drama. Every 5,000 years I will get lucky again. So very fortunate soul I am. And Baba is giving a comparison that those devotees, they just yearn to rub the mud of this place on their foreheads. Madhuba. Everyone, Baba says, everyone is seated on the heart throne, but you residents of Madhuban are seated at the heart and home, as well as on the heart throne. Baba says, others are seated on the heart throne of Baba. And that too number-wise, because based on the effort and based on their closeness that they maintain with Baba. But Baba says, Madhuba, you are sitting on the heart throne, of course, but you're also sitting at the heart and home. Baba says, so you have double fortune. First, you're sitting on the heart throne, and second, you're sitting on the heart and home. You residents of Madhuban receive the freshest things. Baba's versions, they get to hear directly. They've got so much of, sustenance from Baba, sustenance from the Dadis. Baba says they always get the freshest things. We should also praise the Madhuban Nivasis because they have made the Madhuban the way it is. Baba says, it is you residents of Madhuban who have a picnic of the most beautiful experiences. You residents of Madhuban celebrate the most meetings with Baba. It is you residents of Madhuban who are knowledgeable of all the news from everywhere. Everybody sends news to Madhuban. So everybody in Madhuban gets to know what's happening all around in the PK world, in Baba's children's lives, and the service news as well. Baba says, everyone has to come and meet you residents of Madhuban. So you have such elevated fortune. Who is speaking of these fortune of yours? The father is speaking of the children's fortune. You residents of Madhuban have such a great fortune that if you were constantly to remember even one aspect of it, your stage would never descend. One aspect of what? Our fortune. So Baba says your residents have such great fortune that even if you remember one thing constantly, one aspect of this fortune, your stage will never descend. Yesterday, Baba also spoke about zeal, enthusiasm. So if we keep reminding ourselves of the fortune that we have received by becoming Babas, by making the effort, our stage will never descend. We'll always remain enthusiastic in this effort making. Baba says, does each of you move along whilst considering yourself to be an elevated soul whose fortune is praised by the Father? Does each of you move along whilst considering yourself to be an elevated soul whose fortune is being praised by the Father? Who is praising our fortune? It's the Master Almighty. He's saying, you're so fortunate, children. Do I myself move along while being in this elevated stage that the Father himself praises my fortune? Baba says, whenever those from abroad hear the praise of Madhuban residents, they become very happy and have the enthusiasm to become residents of Madhuban. There are so many double foreigners who are residents of Madhuban now, who stay in Madhuban, both within Madhuban premises and outside, in the outskirts of Madhuban. So they get so enthusiastic by listening to the news that they want to themselves come and become residents of Madhuban. Baba says, it's as though the foreigners are sitting in the gallery today. Baba saying it's as though they are just watching and listening to what is happening here. Baba says there's great pleasure in watching everything from the gallery. Sometimes you Madhuban residents are observers and sometimes the foreigners are observers. Sometimes foreigners also come and do new things in Madhuban, new initiatives, they come and try and new workshops. So then the Madhuban residents, they become observers. And sometimes the foreigners become observers, seeing how the Madhuban Nivasis are doing the service, making the efforts. So Baba says, you residents of Madhuban just have to keep one thing in your awareness to become powerful. And what is that one thing? To become powerful. What is that one thing in which everything is included? This is to be underlined. Baba says, whatever thoughts you create, whatever words you speak, whatever deeds you perform, and whoever you come into connection or relationship with, simply check that everything you do is equal to what the Father does. My thoughts, my words, my deeds, my connection and relationships, are they in line with what the Father does, what Bap Dada does? The way I'm speaking, would Bap Dada speak like this? The way I'm thinking, would Bap Dada think like this? What I'm doing, is it in line with what Bap Dada would do? And the souls whom I come in contact with, whom I create relationships with, are they such that what Baba would have come and made relationships with? There's one thing creating a close connection and relationship with the soul. And there's one thing, just coming into contact with the soul. When we make a connection or a relationship, there's a lot of exchange of energies and continuous exchange of energies. We have to be very picky and choosy in whom we create a relationship with after coming into knowledge. Baba said, let your thoughts be equal to the Father's thoughts. Let your words be the Father's words, because all of you have promised that you will only relate what you have heard from the Father, that you will only listen to what the Father relates to you, that you will only think about the things that Father has told you. This is what all of you have promised, is it not? In Hindi they say, वही खाएंगे, वही पहनेंगे, वैसे ही रहेंगे, जैसे बाबा रहते हैं, right? That's what they say in Hindi. We will do as my father did. Baba says, since this is the promise that you have made, this is all you have to check. I have made this promise when I came to this knowledge. Am I sticking to the promise that I have made to Baba? Baba says it's not difficult to check this, is it? First, check to see that it matches the Father, and then put it into practice. First of all, check whether each thought you have is equal to that of the Father. So when we are doing something, when we are coming into some action, or when we are about to say something, even before saying or acting or anything, it's the thought that will come to the mind. Right? And when thought will come to the mind, the intellect will inspect that thought. And it will say, okay, this one is free to go further. And no, this one needs to be blocked here. You don't have the visa to go further. So that's what the intellect does when we are in our right stage. Baba says you check to see the thought which is coming, does it match to what the Father would think? Only then you put anything into practice, be it words or actions or relationships. First of all, check whether each thought you have is equal to the Father's thought. You have been told earlier that the copper-aged kings and the royal families would first have everything they were given checked before they accepted it. Even in the copper age, Baba is saying, the kings and the queens and the royal families, anything that comes to them, even somebody gifts them something, they'll first get it checked. In fact, when they used to sit for the meals, they used to get those meals checked by somebody, only then they would have accepted those meals. Or anything for that matter. Baba says, what are the kings of the copper age as compared to you? You must have been much better kings. However, even the kings of today who have lost their thrones still receive the hospitality and are still looked after so well. So there are two things. One is the hospitality. Look what kind of hospitality those kings and queens get today. Right? And second, are we checking the way they did before accepting anything? Any thoughts that we accept from others, right? Before letting it go into our intellect, into our subconscious, we should check that thought. Is that thought meant for me? Is it good for me or not? Baba says, all the thoughts you have are food for your intellect. This is a yukti Baba is giving. Baba says, all the thoughts that you have are like food for the intellect. So when we Brahmins eat food, we give drishti to the food. We check the food before eating, and we'll not eat anything that has been made by someone else but ourselves or by Brahmins. So Baba says, when you're thinking, your thoughts also are like food for the intellect. So the care that we do when we are eating food, physical food, we should do the same level of care when we are giving food to our intellect in terms of our thoughts. The words you speak are food for the mouth, and the deeds are food for your hands and feet. Therefore, check everything under that. So today's homework, we'll check everything that Baba has mentioned. Thoughts, words, action. So even before getting anything into practice, we will check whether it's the right thing. Is this what Baba would think? Is this what Baba would say? Is this what Baba would do? What would you call it if you do something first and then think about it afterwards? That'll be senseless, right? It doesn't have any sense. Why? Because no thought has gone into that thought or that action. It's just running on an auto mode. Baba says, therefore you be doubly sensible. So rather than letting thoughts run on an auto mode, which we are used to since corporate until we got knowledge, once we come into knowledge, it has to move from auto mode to manual mode, where we check everything before we put it into practice. That's what Baba is saying, and that's what Baba says is being sensible. Baba says, simply make this one aspect your original sanskar. Some souls have the sanskar of not accepting anything insignificant. They would first look at everything and check it carefully before accepting it. All of you are pure, great souls. All of you are elevated souls. Therefore, if you souls were to accept thoughts without considering them, or say something without thinking, or perform deeds without thinking, that would not be greatness. Therefore, the one thing that you Madhuban residents have to do is to check. Check, check, check. That's the only job we have. Keep checking, introspecting my own thoughts. What kind of thoughts am I getting these days? We have that thought spectrum: negative, mundane, positive, divine, pure. So what kind of thoughts am I getting? Are they something which follow my greatness, or are they something I think of myself as a great soul? That's what Baba says. But are my thoughts aligned to my greatness? Therefore, the one thing that you Madhuban residents have to do is check. You have the machinery for checking everything, do you not? Your practice is the machinery. A lot of praise is sung of Madhuban residents. The fragrance of your tirelessness has been spreading for a long time. You have each received a certificate for spreading the fragrance of tireless service. However, together with this, what else do you have to add? Just as you are tireless, so you must also remain constantly stable, no fluctuations. Whenever the results of any of you are examined, let them all be seen as the foremost in being constant and stable. Let them not be second or third in number, because Madhuban gives light and might to everyone. If the light and might house were constantly to fluctuate, what would become of everyone else? The atmosphere of Madhuban residence quickly spreads everywhere. A tiny matter that happens here becomes big when it reaches everywhere else. Because all of you are great people. You know? We all are great people and we all are expected to be great people. So even a small mistake is really scrutinized by the souls. Baba says you are those who are constantly under the canopy of protection. Very important line. You will, of course, receive your reward in heaven, but you will also receive plenty of rewards here. You Madhuban residents receive everything ready-made. You simply have to perform your duty and you receive everything else. You don't need to think about where you will receive anything from or how much you will receive. You simply do your service and eat the fruit of that. You Madhuban residents are also repeatedly given 36 varieties of food. Therefore, you also have to imbibe 36 virtues. There's much more variety of food that you get in Madhuban than you're able to make at home. So they're lucky. So Baba says you have so much of variety of food, you should also have the variety of virtues and 36 different varieties of virtues. Every resident of Madhuban must definitely put on a crown of the light of purity. You must wear a double crown, a crown of virtues and a crown of purity. So two crowns, virtues and purity. They go hand in hand. Virtues without purity are not real virtues, and purity without virtues is not real purity. And this crown must have at least 36 diamonds in it. Nothing but virtues. Baba is saying you must have 36 virtues at least. Okay. So we'll stop here and we'll follow this second part of the Murli tomorrow. We will give 1 minute of silence and then we will do our churnings. Okay. Anyone wants to go first? Share their journey.
Good morning, Sister Om Shanti. Baba says, to be doubly sensible means one who check their thoughts, words and deeds prior putting them into practice and checks them against the performance from Baba if they are equal to what Baba would have done and then they later perform it. That is what is to mean to be a doubly sensible person. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Yes, that's correct. Baba says be doubly sensible. One, check your thoughts And then second, check them against whether Baba would have done it or not. So doubly sensible. It's very important to be doubly sensible. Any thoughts on what would be singly sensible? If Baba says this is what means being double sensible or doubly sensible.
Om Shanti.
Shanti.
I think the singly sensible will be just to check from the limited world's perspective or your own perspective. And doubly sensible will be checking with benchmarking with the reference of Baba, the Almighty, the most elevated stage, when the soul is sitting on that stage, remembering Baba and then checking, then that's the benchmark we have related to, and then we can check is there any limited or the body consciousness in my sankalp, and then I can take that. So that has to happen spontaneously. It shouldn't take more time, not more than, isn't it? Otherwise, then I will not be able to take quick decisions. So before taking any decision, check with reference of the Almighty, most elevated. Om Shanti.
That's a beautiful thought, brother. Actually, you said being singly sensible means, well, as Baba's children, we are expected to keep a check on our thoughts, our actions, and more or less we all do that. When we come into knowledge, we all do that. We keep checking our thoughts, actions, words. Usually we'll not use the same words, use the same language, have the same thoughts as that of, you know, the worldly souls. That's so we all are sensible once we get the knowledge, and knowledge brings wisdom and sensibility to us. So that is expected, and that happens also. But yes, Baba said being doubly sensible means yes, you are checking, which you're already doing, but checking that against which benchmark? Not the benchmark of how you're seeing the other souls, but benchmark of how Baba would have done something. Right? That's being doubly sensible.
And benchmark of how Baba is looking at either soul. How is Baba
Correct.
looking at? Baba is casting his vision on we children every moment, especially the Brahmin children, because we are his arms. We are his arms of, bringing the heaven into this earth, on this earth. And that's the special responsibility he has given to us. He looks at us with a different vision at all, altogether. So,
Yeah.
am
He
I,
always looks at us with our final version,
ah,
right?
Sampurna
And
Swarup.
not what I'm today. Yeah.
He is
My
just
complete version.
would be DT souls, would be DT souls. Just mm, next tomorrow, we are becoming the DT. That's the kind of faith he has got on us, in us, each one of us, Brahmin souls. So he has a different vision, and once our vision aligns with his vision, then it is a doubly sensible thoughts
Mm.
and words and actions, and they are the food. They are the food for the thoughts are the food for the intellect, words are the food for the mouth, and actions and deeds are the food for the karmendriyas, sense organs, our hands, feet, and the body. So, are we giving the right, doubly sensible, check, check, and hygienic food to our own, you know, you can say, even intellect and mind, intellect, and sanskars, they are under us. They are subservient to us. So, are we feeding them right? To my own ministers, and so that they are aligned with me, and I am aligned with Baba. That's Om.
Shivani, when I would play the numbers game, you asked the question singly sensible and doubly sensible. For me, when you said singly sensible means it's only one line of thought, only thing. And even in today's Murli, Baba speaks about those corporate souls and all. But when you spoke about single, I only think about that famous verb, think before you ink. Think before you ink. Whatever,
Mm,
even that is here, Baba, we are talking about writing. But if in
mm,
today's Abhyatvani also, if you see, Baba is so well given, your words, your eyes have to be powerful, your words have to be powerful. People have to see power emerging from your eyes, from your ears, I mean, from your lips and everything. It should be absolutely so powerful. People should only experience powerful. So I feel if you go to the equation, it is doubly sensible is equal to doubly powerful. Like thinking through the Lord, thinking through what he would think if he was here. Whether I'm taking it to be the first person, Father Brahma, or even coming back to Shiv Baba through Brahma. But I would like to play the numbers game over here when you, like, we play singular, plural, like that when you
mm,
said. I just
mm,
went to the literary sense of the term and I thought that it's as simple as that. Think as my father thinks. Or even that
mm,
think before you ink, think before you put. And today's, I think, Avyaktwani is where one where to go through. Especially, I just heard Shivani Ben's version of the Murli when she read about the words, the powers, the vibrations, the five, nothing, all those five things, those five heads should not be there. Then I think the question of double sensible or double power. I don't know. I was just trying to play the numbers game when you spoke about
mm.
singly sensible and doubly sensible. Om Shanti.
Yes. Thanks for sharing, sister. Absolutely. I think singly sensible, we can say think before you ink, or in Hindi also they say tol mul ke bol, right? So whenever you speak, so that even Lokik souls, some of them do that. Some of the worldly souls also do that. They will speak less. They will think before they speak. They are respected for what they speak, what they think. They have a lot of wisdom, and that is singly sensible. But what Baba expects us is to be doubly sensible, because that's the only way for us to reach our final stage, the deity, the angelic form, right? Where we are like Baba. And if we see even Brahma Baba when he was Sakar, he used to also think and do like that, right? He used to keep asking Gulzar Dadi, okay, tell me, how does that Brahma and this Brahma, what's the difference? So he always used to benchmark himself with his final version, right? Or with how Baba would think, right? Or how the Almighty would think. And by doing that, he became like him. Right? And that happens even in worldly actions. When we start acting like someone, we become like that one. And that's being doubly sensible. But anyone has any practical tips that we can share amongst each other how to be doubly sensible? Because when we are in our day-to-day life, there are so many things coming on us. Like it's like Maya is throwing grenades at us, right? And we need to protect ourselves. So it's so difficult to be even singly sensible at that time. And Baba expects us to be doubly sensible. So, any tips, any ideas on how we can be doubly sensible in our day to day life where there's so many things happening together? Any thoughts on that?
Shanti sister, maybe in the places where we work, the the organizational values may be cross-checked against our actions, or the organizational rules and regulations may be checked against our actions, which would invariably be of higher standards, because otherwise none of the organizations are accepted or recognized in this world as well, unless and until they are they are equanimous with the societal goodness. So which is again the overall plan of Baba, that is to create a very good world. So people have to check our actions and words and thoughts to the organization things. Om Shanti.
Mhm. So are you saying that we must see what values the organization has and then accordingly align? Is that what your thought is, brother?
I think, okay. Yeah, one is to check the worldly law and order, and the other is to see what Baba Srimad is.
Yes. And Baba has
That's my thought.
already mentioned, brother, right, that the world's values are down the drain. That we have already accepted, right? And that we are aware that the world will not support us in doing our effort. In fact, it is not supposed to support us. That's how the world is. So we are actually going against the tide. When Baba is saying be doubly sensible, it's actually going against the tide because in the world, very few are even singly sensible. People are not even thinking before doing anything, or maybe they're thinking, but the benchmark is different because all of us souls, even before we came to knowledge, we were also like that, you know, like children, not knowing what is the right thing to do, just doing it. So the world, and thinking that I'm absolutely right. So world will be like that. It'll keep throwing at us such challenges and back to back, not even give us time. And that's what Baba says, no, Maya will not give you time. So how do we deal with such situations and still be doubly sensible? Because that's where our challenges lie, right? Especially when we work in organization, we feel
Actually,
challenged. Hmm.
Shivani Pen, if you're a law student, they always say, we believe in the simple word, what we call it as jurisprudence. That cannot change. That is always a cardinal law principle and all. The one who argues it can argue it in a different way. But jurisprudence is jurisprudence. So
Hmm.
I don't think I'm going to sit and whine or cry for whether the people are not supporting. From where do
Mm-hmm.
I get my strength? From where
Mm-hmm.
do I support? What is that supreme source of energy? That is what, if I have that kind of unshakable faith in it, I'm not going to wait for the yes nod, because through my mind I know I'm just doing what my father wants me to do. And I have I don't feel bad for those people. They are still under so many other kind of sources of thinking, information of thinking, which is also rightful enough, which you and I cannot argue to say that it's not right. See, I have just got that knowledge now, that what is right, what is wrong, and all. So, and I got it through the absolute faith which I have in that one. The other people, they have faith, it's divided. So it'll come when it has to come. I don't think that should be a challenge for us to know situations and all. Instead,
Hmm.
if I believe in what I have to believe, from where I'm believing, if that support system, as I use the word always as jurisprudence, I think that doesn't shake me. That only says, okay, time will take its course. And Baba has seen all this. It's not now. This drama is going on. He knows when what will come right. It works. I think the right and wrong, that kind of principle, or I'm being challenged, I'm not getting support and all, it matters. I won't say it doesn't matter. It's something trivial. I think one should take it. That's what I feel.
Hmm. So you're saying that I need to always keep drama in front, right? And Baba. Maybe when Baba says be combined with me all the time, I need to always be combined, and whenever I'm feeling lost, I would not say challenge, but if I'm feeling lost, I just give it to Baba. Let Baba's intellect take over, right? maybe be combined, give it to Baba, and always have drama in front. Because when we keep drama in front and look at everything from the lens of the drama, I think it's easier to ignore things which are not meant to be thought of, right? There are many things that happen during the day. Many things need to be ignored. Many things need to be challenged. Many things need to be rectified. So accordingly, I think I need to act keeping Baba, drama, and my own soul consciousness in front. I think that is important because you don't
Yeah.
get, right, Smriti, you don't get the time to think sometimes.
Perfect. I used to remember these word tentacles and all, how. And I don't know, I can't get that Hindi thing. Baba says like that when there is a fire, the mother cat will come and how it takes its kitten. And, there's a lovely Hindi
Yeah.
thing which Baba used to mention. So I always said the thing, Acha, whatever happens, storms may come, I may be hit, people may call me mad, people may say, kya bol rahi hai? And that's fine, that's fair enough. That's
Mhm.
what's the knowledge they have. But I have the one, my mother cat who would come and pull me out at that when the time comes. Till then, let me face no, even as if I am fair enough. Even I have done so many things during this year 63 thing, where all, what all, even I have done, even I have got it only now. It's nothing like as if I was the deity form always and all my thing. No, so even I have to go through it. I'm ready to go through it. See, when I
Mm.
just even sit and listen to what my mama and baba had to go through, nothing, I think, what challenge. These and all are part of things. This should not hit us. It should. I feel like it's like an adventure. Like you have to take one
Yeah.
thing. If I only remember, like that Hindi saying that he will be there to pick me up from that fire, I think that would be fair enough. That's
No,
what
I
I.
agree.
Otherwise, I think it's just a game if we take it. I know sometimes it just hurts when you're not able to bring home the point when something is so, but who are you? See, it's jurisprudence is jurisprudence. Let it take its own course. That's what I
Correct.
feel.
No, very good sharing.
It's just an
Thank you.
opinion.
Yeah, that's the correct opinion actually. These are whatever's happening. If we are in our stage of consciousness, it will not even matter. I'll be very honest. Nothing will matter. Nothing matters more than what I am here to do, and more than Baba, or more than my own stage. Nothing else matters, and I need to protect my stage at every cost. I think that is what matters the most because that is what will take me through. But excellent. I think thank you all for the sharings. We will continue this Murli tomorrow, and we'll give 1 minute of silence. Remember Baba, thank him, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Shivani Ban. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Till that time, have a nice day.